So hey guys, it's me Debarko back from the Techipedia, and today in this video I will be featuring my Redmi Note 3 and to show that is still Redmi Note 3 works in 2017, as we know that Xiaomi already launched Redmi Note 4 in 2017. This phone was launched in 2016 by Xiaomi, and in China this phone was launched with a MediaTek processor, while the Xiaomi Redmi Note Pro was launched in China with this similar specs. So keeping this device aside, we will move on to the box. Okay, just move on to the box, and this is the box, and I will just open it, and if you will get some manuals and simulator tool and the charger too. I will show you the charger. So no headphones inside this box. So there's the USB port, and to be precise, it does not support any fast charging, even if you have any other fast charger. Now this this USB cable is much thinner, and it tends to tone off from that angle, from that point, and it may stop working. So it may be advised that you may use any other USB cable. So let's just come to the design. And there are some B-rolls that I captured for this device. Let me just show you off. And there is that MI branding. The Chinese model, that MediaTek one, hasn't been launched in India. While in India, the box you get a Made in India sticker, that is which features the 650 Snapdragon processor one. Let's just come to the device. And this device is similar when it comes to the design, similar to the Apple's one. The Apple's iPhone 6 or 6s, only the 6 or 6 plus, when you get the 5.5 inch, the design is pretty similar, while Xiaomi tried to copy that. Pretty thin from the sides, it has a back aluminum induced aluminum back. The speaker is there. It has a fingerprint sensor as a rear mounted one, and the 16 megapixel PDAF shooter. Let's just turn it off. 16 megapixel camera, and this is the flash. The front camera is a 5 megapixel shooter. Okay, so more of this device. This device comes with the MIUI 7 that is featured with the Lollipop, and which comes out of the box, and then you will get a MIUI 8 update for your Marshmallow. So at the top you have the IR blaster. I will show you that. Okay, so there is, at top you have the IR blaster, and outside you have the headphone port, and below you have the USB that's a charging port. Okay, so beginning with the device, as previously told, this device is currently featuring MIUI 8. There is the own operating system or user interface rather of Xiaomi, which you will get in every Xiaomi devices, such as Xiaomi features with like Emotion UI in Honor, or Samsung features TouchWiz and others like that. So let's just try the camera. 16 megapixel, it has a tap to focus, and not that bad, but it tends to struggle in artificial lighting condition, while it's pretty good in daylight. While in this budget, you may have expected a lot from Xiaomi in terms of camera, but other than that, if you don't have that camera perspective, then this device is always a budget piece, of course. Now coming to the points of why you should prefer a Redmi Note 3, or if you have a Redmi Note 3, should you upgrade to Redmi Note 4? I don't think so, because this device is fragile, of course. When you give them a bend test or any other test, do fail, This device is very fragile. Okay, so the front Xiaomi hasn't specified any corning gorilla. It does not have a corning gorilla glass, but if it do have dragon tail glass, it hasn't told. So what I will suggest is that if your phone tends to fall off from your hand, then your device might crack. So Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 features a curved 2.5D glass. That means you will have a problem while installing that tempered glass. While Redmi Note 3, yeah, in that you can easily install the tempered glass. Moreover, the Redmi Note 4, it has a 2 GHz octa-core Snapdragon 625 processor, while this has a 650 Snapdragon processor. And it's hexa-core, of course. While the processor, I guess it's slightly, the processor is always this phone is slightly better. Let's just try out a game. I already opened Dream League Soccer, right? It consumes the RAM. I'm not featuring any Asphalt 8 or FIFA. I'm just featuring an offline game. Let's just play, and it's pretty decent to play games. As you can see, pretty decent. And I will just come back to my home screen. As you can see, this is the RAM management, and the RAM management is pretty decent. To be honest, the RAM management is pretty decent and can hold up to many other applications. Also, if you use any other launcher, then the device tends to improve a lot than its previous performances. While Xiaomi Redmi Note 4, yes, Note 4 is always a beast. That black color is, of course, that will attract you towards that phone. But if you're having a Redmi Note 3, of course, you won't upgrade it. If you're not having, then you can of course always go for Redmi Note 4. But Redmi Note 3 is always a budget beast. Moreover, this has a mammoth battery of 4000 mAh, and the Redmi Note 4 features a 4100 and 100 mAh battery. Okay, so that's just minor differences that you get between two devices. Performance wise, you can definitely say that Redmi Note 3 can outperform Redmi Note 4 due to its processor. Always, it's in comparison of any processor or anything you can compare with any budget devices, this device can outperform any device. But when you compare the camera, it struggles a lot. And maybe earnest request to Xiaomi to improve the camera. I guess that the budget range of smartphones should have a slight better camera. When you compare Lenovo P2, you definitely saw a review on Lenovo P2, or maybe on a 6X or Moto G5 Plus. They might increase the price for 1000 or 2000 a bit, but they should improve the camera as per my recommendation goes. Moreover, this device is of course pocket friendly, but this device is always a very good phone. When you can have gaming, you can have anything. Also, it has a simple mode for if you are planning to use this, give this device to any of elderly or anyone who doesn't knows much of the smartphone things, right? Okay.
Wow.